What's going on, people? Welcome to United View and welcome to the real life full view. The real full view in a real life. And today's episode, we're going to be talking about who Manchester United should sell in the summer. Marcel, we're going to start with you. Who should Man United sell?
I think selling players is a difficult job anyway for clubs. As a whole, it's a difficult job for clubs. So,
Especially Man United.
Especially Man United. And yeah, so I have a few players that come to mind.
Give us your list.
I'm going to go with Maguire for one. Top of the list. I think you can get a lot of value from him. Scott, I think, hasn't been good enough this season. You know, and you know, we're trying to officially break up that McFred partnership. Fred has really come into his own this season. He's been contributing well in games. So I think you'd want to keep him. So Maguire and Scott. I don't know what's going on with Jones. I don't know what's going on with Phil Jones.
I think he's going for a free at the end of the year.
Yeah, so I would put him in that list. In the forward line, there's some questions about certain players. You know, the likes of obviously. I don't want to say it too early, but he hasn't been brilliant. He hasn't been brilliant so far this season. I'm going to say Sancho. You can look at. I'm going to say Sancho you can look at potentially. He's not a Ten Hag player. He's not Ten Hag's player. He is
not on the wing. Not on the wing.
Maybe in the 10, but he's not Ten Hag signing, guys.
In the date for a sale.
He's not Ten Hag signing.
This summer.
Hang on a minute. So you're telling me that you're going to keep Martial and you're going to sell Sancho?
That's a mad thing, Steph. That's a mad
Yes, I am telling you that. Yes, Steph.
Oh, you are saying that?
Yes, I am.
Really?
Yes, I am.
You've not even backed away, you've just doubled down on it.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, that's his opinion. That's
my opinion, yeah. And then, but David De Gea is also in that list, of course. Thank you.
Wow.
So I've gone with Maguire, Scott,
Yeah.
Sanch, David De Gea.
It doesn't have to be out of just the first team playing. The players out on loan that are coming back. You know, Bailly's got to come back. Teller's got to come back. Brandon Williams, Tuanzebe's there. Mengi, like there's loads.
Still there.
That's what I mean. Brandon Williams, well, he's actually here. Yeah.
Yeah, of course those.
Ahmad's coming back off loan. Chong's coming back off loan.
Chong has to go.
Hannibal's coming back off loan.
Hannibal, unfortunately, I don't think we'll make it.
So, but yeah, Karen.
No, but there's brilliant points to add. I mean,
There's a lot of players.
Yeah, there's a lot of players. I mean, Hannibal, I think, still in his process. Maybe a loan is due for him. Eric Bailly has to leave, unfortunately. Tuanzebe has to leave, unfortunately. They're not going to make it into the side long term. Lindelof, I think you give another season. I do think you maybe give Sancho another season. I'll retract that. You know, I do think maybe you give him another season. But I think long term, I think he's potentially out the door. He's not a Ten Hag player. That's all I would say for sure. Is he's not Ten Hag's
that with
player.
haste.
Yeah. So,
But neither was Varane.
Yeah.
So what I mean by that is, I don't mean. Obviously, we've seen what Varane can do.
Exactly.
I mean, but in terms of, are you saying that as he's not a Ten Hag type of player, or are you just saying that he might be one of the first out because Ten Hag didn't buy him, so he won't wait that long?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is, Rex. And because of that, you know, and he's brought in Garnacho. He's bedded in Garnacho. Pelestri's come in. There's other more explosive wingers, you know, and I think in the long term we might see him get phased out. And that would be my lot. I think 5 or 6 crop.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, there's like a set that there's unrealistic. Obviously, in the summer, I want to get rid of these 10, 15 players. Obviously, that doesn't happen like that. But, you know, Cam, we'll come over to you. What are you saying if I was to say to you players that Manchester United should sell in the summer? Where are you starting that process at?
I think we start the process with Maguire and McTominay. I think that's pretty clear. Not just because they're probably not good enough for United, but also because out of what we've got and we might realistically sell, they're probably the ones that generate the most money. And I think whatever happens, if we can generate some revenue by selling players we don't want, then why wouldn't we? It'd be stupid not to. So I get rid of those two. Alex Telles has to go. I still can't believe we got scammed for him. Let's be honest, we didn't have a data science department or whatever it was. They're looking at stats for a left back. They're looking at goal scoring stats for a left back. We've got a penalty taker. That's why he scores goals. He is one of the worst players I've ever seen at everything else. He is so bad. Honestly, he can't leave the club quick enough. I want him out. Eric Bailly, I hope we've scammed Marseille into taking him, because I think if they qualify for Champions League, he goes. Right. But then apparently they don't want him, even if they do. So
been injured, didn't he? I think last I saw.
Last time he kung fu kicked someone in the chest, didn't he? Last time I saw him, yeah, obviously a red card, yeah. He's
okay. Eric Bailly. So that's Maguire, McTominay, Bailly, Telles.
I think Elanga is probably time to go. Tahith Chong is he's a bit of a mystery in the sense that he's done all right for Birmingham at times, and under a youth level he's pretty good. But you bring him in the first team picture, he's terrible, useless. There's no point having him or any other team. I think we'll move one right back on at least. I think Ten Hag will want to sign. I think Ten Hag will want to sign Timber, and that won't be for centre back. That'll be for right back. So we'll probably move on one of Dalot or Wan-Bissaka. Which one it is, I don't know.
Do you care?
Yeah.
I care.
Yeah, who would you pick?
It's difficult.
It's another show. This Dalot or Wan-Bissaka.
Yeah, that is another show.
That is a
I
show.
think
Sure.
I think Wan-Bissaka is a really useful profile to have in the sense that you can come up against any winger 1v1, he'll lock them down for 90 minutes. If we get up against Mbappe in the Champions League over 2 legs, I'd put Wan-Bissaka in there for that game. Whereas Dalot, all-round game, much better on the ball, much better in possession. And I think if we've got 70% possession for a few games, I think, and that's maybe where we're going towards, Dalot's probably more useful to have because he's better on the ball. So I don't really mind between the two of them which one goes, but I think I doubt we'll keep 3 right-backs that are competing for that same spot, to be honest. I think, do you know what? This is going to come as a surprise to certain people. I'm not sure we should necessarily get rid of David De Gea. I can see both arguments.
Whoa! Wait! He does not get to do that. You do not get to do that. Nah, you're taking a piss. You're taking a piss. Do you know what? I've seen your tweets. I've seen your protests outside Old Trafford. I've seen your banners. I've seen everything. And then you just drop that. 6 minutes and 35 seconds in. What do you
That's
mean?
mad, you know.
I want to hear you out. I want to hear you out, but that came from absolutely no. At the beginning of your thing, you said that he had one of the ones had to go.
I didn't
Yeah,
mention
you
his name,
did.
did I?
You said, but why
McTominay.
dominate? And then you were like, De Gea.
Well, look, I think long time he'll go. I think for next season, the difficulty is, and a lot of people have raised this point, you bring in a new goalkeeper. Man United goalkeeper is one of the highest profile positions in world football. There might be a couple of mistakes. Now, this is where there could be 2 sides to it. You could say, if the keeper's making a couple of mistakes, you might want to take him out the firing line for a bit, in which case you've got someone that's been at the club a long time, like De Gea, you can bring back in for a couple of games. But at the same time, you could also say, from the other side, if that happens and De Gea is still there, that puts even more pressure on the new guy when he then plays again, because you've got all the De Gea fans backing De Gea.
Of course.
The most difficult thing, I think, with this whole David De Gea thing is that because of the situation we're in, of how long it's been going on, because of, I think quite a lot of people see that he's maybe not stylistically the right fit, but there's also a lot of people who are, because of the way social media is, it's getting more and more extreme on both sides, to the point where the people that want him replaced have to back, you've got to double down on yourself every time and be like, he needs to go now, he has to go. And the people that want to keep him, every time he makes a save, we're acting like no other keeper has arms, no other keeper can make saves. I think the debate is so polarised.
And we're also acting like no other keeper kicks it out of play. No other keeper,
Exactly.
But literally, when one thing happens on the opposite, the other side goes, see.
Okay,
It's Marcel's fault.
I think it's because there's so much to say on the David De Gea matter. That's a whole nother video.
It is.
Yeah, I'll wrap it up.
It actually is another video.
I'll wrap it up quickly, but I think the debate is so polarised on both sides. I think keeping him as a second choice wouldn't be the worst thing in the world, but I would 100%, I want to see Diogo Costa as Man United's starting goalkeeper next season. So if that means sell De Gea, fine.
Okay.
If that means keep him, I can see why you do that as well.
Okay.
So yeah, I think the main ones are Maguire and McTominay, because they'll generate the money, get them out the door first.
We might need an hour for this video. This is insane. These are only little 20 minutes GCSE bite size. But this is a 4-course meal size, mate. This ain't bite size. Steph, if I sort of say to you, who's at the top of your list, sort of thing, where are you going?
Harry Maguire is at the top, the peak.
That's been
He
unanimous
is
across the whole.
Peak, sell. I don't care how much we get for him. Honestly, I know that's like bad, like financial management. I probably run the club into the ground, but I was like, just get rid of him.
Well, whatever you think of how much he goes for, it's going to be bad financially, isn't it? Because we bought him for 80, so we're already done for that.
So I get rid of him, and I would echo what Cam said. My first two players that came straight to my mind were McTominay and Maguire. So I completely agree with that. With regards to the players that we have on loan, and like the players in the full squad, like not the first 11. Yeah, get rid of Tahith Chong, Tuanzebe. Yeah. This is what I want. I'm not saying.
Yeah, of course.
This is
because in the summer you can't just sell 15 guys.
Yeah. Tuanzebe, Chong, Brandon Williams, 100%. but I'm going to throw my name into the mix.
Let's go.
Donny van de Beek.
I was just going to say, no one spoke about him.
Donny van de Beek needs to go. I say needs to go. It's not. I think that's really hard for me to actually say that, because I feel like we just treated him so badly, and he's never really been given a chance.
He was never going to surpass Bruno, though.
You want to just hug the guy, don't you? Because he seems like such a nice guy,
and
a good character.
Maybe, you're right. Maybe that it's emotion that's coming into it.
Yeah.
For all of the reasons I think we've all seen his treatment at United, but I just think now after this serious injury that he's had, I don't see him working his way back into the team.
I think really it's what you said there. I think with him, it's like, actually, probably the best thing for you, Donny, actually, is to reignite your career.
Yeah.
New surroundings, fresh start. Sometimes, you know, in life, you take a punt at something, which you should. You should go for things, and it don't quite work out. Doesn't mean it's the end of you. It would be great if something like going back to Ajax. Just like a reset.
Yeah.
Just reset yourself. Reassert yourself, because let's have it right. In that COVID season, he was about to go to Real Madrid. That was going to happen when the project restart fit, whatever it was, when he was out. That he was before COVID actually happened the first time. He was going to go there, and he was one of the most highly tipped midfielders in Europe. When we got him for 35 million, 40 million, we went, bloody hell, wow, that's going to be brilliant. Yeah. And it just hasn't been. And he's literally, you go from not really getting in the team to when you do get in, don't really impact it. Then you get niggling injuries. Then you go on loan. Then you get injured. Then you come back. New manager, the manager who actually you played under. You're thinking, right, don't quite get in and out at the beginning of the season. Then you get a season ender.
Even now, in that midfield area, if that's where he wanted to play, I think Sancho's jumped ahead of him in the pecking order for that position as well.
Yeah.
So he's got Bruno ahead of him if he's playing as a 10. If he's playing as an 8, he's got Sancho ahead of him. He's got Fred ahead of him. I think it's just too difficult to see him getting a way back into the team. I think we've said the whole way, what Donny van de Beek needs is a team that has 70% possession most games, and he will look really good. A position where he can play as an 8 on one of the sides and just get into the box, do what he's good at in the final third. But I don't think we're in a position to deliver that for him yet. No. I think we might be next season, and if we are, then maybe keep him. Maybe he can contribute something. But even then, I think in that sort of situation, I'd back Sancho to do a better job than Donny probably would. I think Bruno will do a better job as well. I just don't see a way back for him. It's tough.
Donny has to go. But I think he could be like a Thomas Muller replacement in terms of how he plays his style of game.
It's very similar.
Just as a side note, but I think, you're right. Everyone's right. He has to go.
Any more to add in before we get to DJ's list?
No.
Yeah? Okay, strong one there, but Donny van de Beek, interesting one, because I was waiting to see who was going to go there. Yeah, well remembered there. DJ.
Yeah, so
what are you saying?
It's funny because before the top of the show, this was actually a lunch conversation with myself and Marcel about who should go. And on my list, you lot at home, you best buckle up and be ready for this. So, we got Phil Jones, top of the list. McTominay, Twanzebe, Maguire, Telles, Martial, Donny van de Beek, Elanga, De Gea, Mengi, Bailly, Williams, Hannibal and Chong.
Hannibal.
That's never good yet.
I think Hannibal will be a Man United player in the future.
You think?
Yeah.
I think
I do.
Do.
I do as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you?
I ain't seen enough. I'm not
Over
convinced.
Not of
I think both will be. I think Hannibal's got that shithouse gene that we need in the team. We desperately need that. He's a proper hothead, and if he can control himself a little bit, that's so valuable to have in and amongst the squad.
Is he playing the 10 though? 8,
Yeah.
10 or
He
8.
can, I think he
He'd be
can
both,
eventually
innit?
turn into a good 10 or an 8. I think the problem with him and Ahmad at the minute is they're just physically not ready.
Yeah, which the Championship's doing them a world of good, because Ahmad's absolutely smashing it. Come back
He's
off injury.
technically brilliant.
He's
Fantastic.
he's doing
so
really
fun.
well, and once he gets that bit of bulk and stuff, etc., etc. That's a big list.
It's a big list.
But that's in its entirety, isn't it? Not like
I'm not saying like next season all of these go at one point, but I think these are the players that we need to start thinking about moving on. And then there's a couple of notables to add to that list. Jadon Sancho. Like I will say, I just don't think he's having the desired effect that he would have liked and what we've expected as fans. But I'm willing to give him another season to see another season under Ten Hag, see how we can get into this team and be productive. I think we're seeing a few little nice things of him, but nothing really substantial just yet. not really contributing as much as we would expect Jadon Sancho to do. So I'm willing to, give it another season. Let Ten Hag bring some other players in and around him, and then we can see kind of how he kicks on. But
I want to shift the conversation onto, so there's your kind of lists, right? And you guys at home get involved. Let us know what your list is. Is it very similar to these guys? Is it completely different? Are you very surprised to see some of the names on these guys' lists? But let's shift the conversation onto how we could generate the most money for player sales. Yeah. So there was a reason why McTominay and Maguire, were like the top two candidates. Away from that, what's a figure you think we could get to, and who would consist of the list to get to a substantial, say, we can put that back into transfers? So, Marcel, we'll start with you. What sort of ballpark figure do you think we could get to, and how would you comprise that list?
I'm hoping, and I was very optimistic before, around 200 million. I'm hoping to ascertain around 200 million in sales. Because that's what you're saying. Fleck. That's what you're saying. You're saying what ballpark number can we hopefully get to in terms of players that we can sell.
Are you Man City's accountant?
No,
this is how they do
I
that.
was like,
This is their sponsorship deals, isn't it? Oh yeah, Etihad Airways, 500 million a season.
We might go down that direction.
Marcel, you said 250 million, right? Break that down for us. Break it down.
No, I'm saying I'm hoping.
But
Where from? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Break it down.
Are we going to sell Rashford for like 80 and then build off
No,
that?
we're not going near Rash, but Donny's there.
What's Donny going to
Actually, do you know what? Actually, that was very shocking when I heard it, and I took a step back. But actually, like when you first said the Harry Kane thing, I was like, I would. And now look, talk us through actually, because it could be on something
there's method,
with
there's
the
a
plet's
method.
I want to hear the maths.
So let's see the maths. Let him land. Let him spit. This is his time.
Well, I'm not great at maths, but
I'm going to get the calculator out. I'm going to get the calculator out, and you better hope that all these players that you name,
Okay, so you give the names and then give a number.
Yeah, but also you can't just say you can't just like make it so that it happens. That's what I'm saying. We have to come to a fair valuation of what's realistic. Right, Marcel, you are now at 0. Give me your first player.
So Donny van de Beek.
How much?
Can we agree on maybe 15 million, 20 million?
Yeah, that's fair.
15
15's fair. 15's fair.
Okay, 15. Right, so we got 15.
Harry Maguire, I think, is one of our most, valuable assets at the moment.
Yeah, probably.
England captain. So I would 80 million is what we bought him for. Maybe a loss on that 45, 50 million.
I think that's fair.
50 million. I would really say 50.
Between 40 and 50 you get for Harry.
Yeah.
Should we say 45?
45.
Can we be cautious here? So let's go for the lowest that we're going to get. No.
I'm not trying to help me
just
here,
because.
Sorry. No, but I'm saying the most realistic is probably 40.
Yeah,
come on,
let's be honest.
All right, 40 million, right?
Given that Dan James is still our fourth most expensive sale,
for like 30 something, isn't it?
Yeah, we're not good at selling players, so we can't be saying like 60 million for these.
Right, so you're at 55 now.
Right, so Scott McTominay, I would say another 20 million. 20 to 20 million.
I think we can get 20 million. I think we could get 30 for Scott because he's still relatively young. I think a team like Newcastle could potentially pay more for him.
Yeah, should we say 25 in the middle?
Yeah, I said.
No, because you have to think like Man United tax is a real thing. Yeah. Plenty of hundreds of Premier League games. Is how many? Well, I don't know hundreds, but he's played over 100 Premier League games. He's played a lot of Premier League games. Played in the Champions League, scored goals.
Really.
Even though we got 10 million for Pereira, didn't we? And that was after a while.
And he's coming back to Old Trafford and running rings around us.
Exactly.
I'll say 20.
Should we just say 20?
I respect it.
All right, 20. All right, we'll say 20. You're at 75 now.
Okay, so Tuanzebe. I don't personally want to sell Tony Marshall, but you guys have all put him in your list. So
this is your list, it's not ours.
Oh, well,
this is how you're going to raise the money.
Okay, no problem.
This is your 250 million.
Yeah,
no problem. So
you've only got 175 million left to go.
Yeah.
Tuanzebe for another maybe 10 million.
No.
Okay, how much is he going for?
5 or 3.
No, I would say 8. I would say about 8.
Let's balance it out and then say 5. I can
all
accept
right.
a 5.
So you're at 8. You're at 80 million now.
Tahith Chong has to go as well. Unfortunately,
0.
It's 0.
Well, it'd be like 2 million.
Couple of million.
yeah.
200
I
man.
think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
What
think.
were you going to
Say
say?
200
How,
million.
Right, I'll give you.
You say
I'll give you 2 million quick because we're at nearly 20 minutes for this video already. So
And then I think we'll kind
you're
of.
at 82 million so far. Teles.
Yeah, Teles.
What can he get you? 15?
15.
Like, he's shit.
10?
15.
He is so
Yeah, I
bad.
know, but you know, on the continent with someone from Spain and that, would Valencia pay 15 million for Teles?
Are they dumb?
Well, where is he at Seville now?
Yeah, he is at Seville. Yeah. Oh, we're gonna play him.
Yeah, exactly. If he's
And
out.
then Hendo's on next.
Right, we'll say 10 million.
Great point. No one's
Henderson.
That's the money.
Come on,
Wait, what are we at now?
What
What are we at now?
We get 50 for Hendo.
Was
50
it?
for Hendo.
So was
Maybe
at
more,
80?
actually.
Was at
He's
80?
an English keeper.
Was at 85?
Yeah, 85,
And then I
man.
said Teles.
Yeah,
That's
and then I
10.
said
So that was plus
Hendo.
10. So that's 95.
Yeah.
Henderson.
Hendo's worth something.
35, 40.
I think we can get 50 for him.
Probably
He's an
about
English
50 for
goalkeeper.
him.
Think about how much Kappa went for.
Yeah.
An English goalkeeper for Spurs or maybe Newcastle or something
You're
like that.
charging them 35 million.
No, you can get more than that. Spurs especially, because they need a
40.
replacement for Lloris.
Let's go in the middle.
40
happy to
million
say
for
40.
Henderson.
Yes,
I'm
yeah,
happy.
yeah, 100%.
40.
I'm happy for that flexibility.
Look at it.
You're
You're at 135.
And I think that's
make money
your
from
lot.
that.
I can't remember if there's anyone
Brandon
else
Williams?
of course, Brandon
2
Williams.
million. 2 million.
Thank you very
That's not
much.
making
That'll
up
be
another
another
120
maybe
though.
5, 10.
It's 1.5 million, man. Brandon Williams.
It's not more than 5.5, 6 mil.
I'm scraping the bar right now.
5
yeah.
M's.
You've still got 120 million to go, mate.
Right. Well, cut a long story short, you were significantly
150
short of
yeah,
that, but
150 mil.
it was wishful thinking.
Yeah.
You're going to sell a stadium now as well.
I think we can get 9 billion for the stadium.
Yeah.
No screens, it has leaks, but a lot of history inside there.
He's selling it the right way out. He's selling it.
Not far from the Trafford Centre. You can get everything.
Can you imagine him selling it?
Honestly.
And Flex, the estate agent.
Honestly, yeah, exactly. Get me at Connell's, mate, or any other ones that watch him. Wow, that was a crazy video. To be fair, Marcel's segment just took us where we wanted to go. But let us know who you guys. Let us know who you guys would sell. I think it's a really interesting one because actually we need to generate funds, and it was very interesting to see that there was the two at the top though, which was McTominay and Maguire. Actually, really, it's McTominay, Maguire, Henderson. They're the three.
Yeah.
They're actually the three that you would look at as well. So yes, smash the like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and the next one you will not want to miss because that is who should be Manchester United's #1 goalkeeper next season. Should it still be David De Gea? Should it be Diogo Costa? Should it be David Raya? Should it be Sanchez from Brighton? Or someone else? We don't know. See you on the next one, guys. Take care. Peace.